Hello, class. We've already begun to lay out our presentation board. In this video, we'll look at placing the CAD in the work and getting it. Previously, we printed PDFs from CAD, which is the way I recommend doing this. Now, I am using AutoCAD, but really, if you're using Revit, you're coming from Revit, it's pretty much the same thing. You want to set up your sheets or whatever in Revit, print those as PDFs, and you'll have the plans as PDFs. And then the thing you want to do, we don't want to place the CAD work. You could, but the reason why we don't want to, because we want to be able to control things later on as we're working on this. So really what you want to do is you want to open your file. So I'm going to go File, Open, and you can open the 2 floor plans, the 4 elevations, or if you're not quite using all 4 like I'm not, that's okay too. You'll make those choices, but open them up. And what we're going to do is copy and paste each one of these in independently. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come into my floor plan, and you'll notice it's rotated quite often. AutoCAD will rotate your prints, but no problem. We can fix that as we're going through here. So I'm just going to go to my black arrow, click and hold and select everything and do Edit Copy or Control C to copy it. I'm going to come over to my presentation board file, and I am going to make a new layer up on top of my perspective, and I'll just call it CAD. I think I can put all my CAD on one layer. It shouldn't be a problem. And I'll do Control V or Edit Paste to get the CAD plan in here. And because we printed from AutoCAD, the benefits, if we remember, are we get black lines, we get line weights, and we get them to scale. Okay, so I'm just going to put it off to the side for now, leave some space off to the side for margin, and I'm going to let it overlap for now, the perspective. We'll take care of figuring that out later. I'm just roughly laying out my boards. And so I'm going to do the same thing for my second floor plan. And Control C to copy it, come over to presentation board, Control V to paste, and of course to rotate, I didn't mention on the first floor plan, but at my black arrow, if I shift up near the corner, I get the little arc, I turn it and I hold shift, it will rotate it just like that. And I want to make sure that these two things are aligned, right? And so Illustrator is going to help with that. You can, I would argue, you can visually just eyeball the alignment because no one's going to really measure it, but you want to be close. There are ways in Illustrator of getting it perfectly aligned, but again, no one's going to know at it. You got to know the difference between a construction document where things need to be perfect and a presentation where a little fudging might be quicker, which could be beneficial. So that's what I'm going to do there, and I'm going to go to my one elevation, select this all, Control C for copy, presentation board, come in here, Control V for paste, rotate it vertically, and I'm going to put it above my floor plan like that, and get some space between them. So now I need to organize this. So you can see, if you wanted to, I could easily, even on here, I could easily fit another elevation if I wanted to. But I want mine to be a little spacious, which isn't bad, and have room for text. We're going to have to add text later on in these things as well. So I'm just going to, I think the left-hand margin is looking pretty good at this point, but I'm just going to shift these down and, give myself a margin down at the bottom that's pretty similar to this, maybe a little bit larger, especially since I'll be adding text. And then I'll bring the first floor down a little bit. I can always adjust these later, but I know I'm going to want some sort of label or something in here. So I'm just going to give myself plenty of room there and bring the elevation down about the same spacing between here as is here. Spacing for margins and in between drawings and things like that want to be consistent. By consistent, I mean the margin doesn't have to be the same as in between drawing, but what I mean by consistent is this space between drawing is the same as that space, or this space between margin is the same as that margin, is the same as that margin, right? And I'm not perfectly aligned on this elevation. I think I shifted it, so I'm going to do that because I see I'm not perfectly aligned. So there we go. That space and that space and that space are all the same. This space, in the end, once I get text here, is likely to be the same as that margin as well. So those are the consistencies you're looking for. Looking to put things in columns is really great, which is why I aligned it this way. But if you want to add more elevations, go ahead. You could add elevations across the bottom or plans across the bottom, whether than the right-hand side, whether you're portrait or landscape, right? So if you're landscape like I am, you could still put the drawings down here if you wanted to. Or you could put them on the left-hand side. If you're portrait oriented, you could put them across the top, the bottom, left or right, right? So that's going to determine how many drawings you can fit and whatnot. I've left a little bit of space up here for myself so I can put a nice title and my name and things like that in there. So give it a go. Again, everything's still adjustable. We're just getting things together because as you can see, even the CAD work itself is not very visible at this point in time. So we're going to spend the next video or two really making sure our CAD drawings read well. But this was a video about how to import them. Now, if you imported them this way through PDFs and then copy and paste the PDFs in, we can change these as much as we want. We have full Illustrator control, which is why we did it this way. So let's see what we can come up with in the next video. I'm just going to go ahead and lock my CAD layer for now, I guess. All right, see you in that video.